So you want to get into ROM hacking, Pokemon ROM specifically, and you just don't know where to start. And you've been looking at different things like over a decade ago, it used to be you'd have to get a ROM, you'd have to get special tools and stuff. But now you're able to do it with your own basic text editor with assembly code. So the first thing you're going to want to do, probably after you've actually set up RGBDS on your computer, which if you follow the guide here or the guide that I posted previously, then you should be pretty well set up with RGBDS. It'll be, for the most part, it's pretty simple. If you're on a Linux-based operating system or Unix-based, it takes a little bit more involvement on Windows, but yeah. So you have to do a little bit more on Windows, but a lot of people still use Windows for that. But the next thing you're probably going to want to do is actually download the code. So I've actually got a few clean repos set up. I've shown off in previous videos compiling a ROM, so I don't really think it's necessary to show that process. But if you're wanting to make your own hack, probably the first thing you should do, and this is the simplest way to do it, is to be on GitHub and click that fork button. And then it'll ask you, what do you want to name your repository? And being as I have no PokeRed repository named, it'll say PokeRed, but I'm going to do tutorial. If I can spell tutorial wrong or right, okay. And then it'll just create fork. And then here's our little repository fork. So this is the fork that you will basically use to do your development in, rather than like directly git cloning the source onto your computer from the pret repo. The pret repo, cloning directly from there, is really good for doing things like just compiling a clean ROM in order to have something that you can work with to patch for different ROM hacks if the code is not available. Because when you go into, well, we'll actually show it here. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we will go to wherever we decide to put our ROM project. And I've actually kind of like sorted that somewhat here into a Pokemon ASM folder, because if I ls this out, you can see I've got a lot of crap in here. So let's see, you can see the purple ones. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47 different repositories in here. Some are like repeats of various ones, and some I have used for different testing purposes that I don't keep up to date. But others are individual ROM hacks that, yeah, somewhat, this is how I keep some of my ROM hacks up to date. But so the thing you're going to do is whatever directory you have set up for that, which I would recommend having a directory set up for ROM projects, is you'll just git clone and then your repository, and boom, it'll download everything because it's really simple. Then all we have to do is go into our, holy cow, PokeRed tutorial is what we named it, but you can name it whatever you want. If you do that git clone, you can actually add like a directory name there, and it'll actually clone into, make a directory named that and clone it into there. But PokeRed tutorial works for our purposes. So this is what the structure looks like for the most part. You've got your ASM code, your install doc that we showed off on the repo itself over here. We don't need that window anymore. And then the layout link, like linking stuff, your main file that includes everything together, and so on. And here's our README that kind of gives a little bit more info on stuff. So the big file to know what, so the ROMs, this can give you an idea of what ROMs you can compile, but the make file, this is kind of where I usually go to find it. So you've got various different like ROMs you can compile here, and they've added more since I first looked at PokeRed. So like these PokeRed and PokeBlue VC, ROMs you can compile, or patches you can compile, were not in the original repo. The repo used to be a little bit more different to navigate. But yeah, you can see you can do the PokeBlue debug ROM as well. So you've got a number of interesting options here. Oh, so yeah, VC patches under the patches, and then you've got your ROM's PokeBlue debug. Let's go double check down here. Yeah, see. So red VC, blue VC. If you do make red VC, it would give you the PokeRed patch for Virtual Console. If you do blue debug, it'll do that. Then if you do all, it'll compile all of those. Well, all the ROMs. So if we go back up to here, it'll compile all of these. And then I believe, does it have patches? Maybe doesn't. But, so yeah, that's basically what this is capable of building. So the first thing I wanted to get into is going over doing different things on, or going through the tutorials on the GitHub repo for PokeRed and Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. So this one took longer than I thought it would to explain like the different things for like that kind of stuff. It is recommended practice though to not use the master branch in your repo for doing different changes, although some people like to live on the edge still, so recommended practice is creating a different branch and then doing changes in there. So yeah, this is kind of basically what the structure is. You've got your tools, which help in compilation. You should have everything that you need for the most part, because when you do it, yeah, everything should be here. You shouldn't have to install anything extra. If you followed the install MD guide, it should have everything set up for you after you follow that, which is basically RGBDS and having Python installed, which most Linux distributions have pretty standard. And then you've got your text files for different maps, your scripts for different maps. This basically tells what characters what to do what, where the warp, or does it have warp data? No, it doesn't have warp data. It's just scripts of what happens and calling text. Then you've got your Frammy stuff. Then here are your maps. These are like the actual map data, which you'll use polished map for in that situation. Let me actually pull that up. So polished map is basically the mapping tool that is used to make mapping a lot easier when it comes to ROM hacks. And it works on Pokemon on both Gen 1 and 2, for Gen and 1 and 2 ROM hacks. And it lets you edit the tile sets and everything. And so that block data that is in here is basically data that holds like all this block info, like what tiles go where. So like a block, the, 4x4 square of tiles is what makes up a block, and then the blocks are arranged in a grid, and your tiles you can make custom otherwise, and that data is somewhere else. But yeah, this includes all of that block data. Here are your macros, which PokeRed uses throughout the code in various different places for to make it simpler to call different events on maps or what have you. And then, yeah, here's your different engine mechanics pretty much in the home directory. Your graphics live here, and so everything's saved as a PNG and then gets converted to the 2-bit per pixel format, which the Game Boy uses to write the pixels in the proper way. I believe this looks like it's the block set one. So like all the tile sets or block sets that make up the map here. For each individual map, you select a different block set, and that's what... So a block set is associated with the map, and then that's how it decides like which graphics it specifically needs. Got your emotes, your fonts. Yeah, everything's here. Players. Let's see, overworld. So sprites for a lot of people is where the interesting stuff is. And yeah. So engine, this is where a lot of your engine stuff lives. And then your home does other stuff. I haven't gone into the specifics of like the refactoring that they did since I first looked at Poker Red, because it was like a super hot mess back then. And then your data for your battle animations, because that's all data. Credits, let's see, yeah. You can change a lot of this stuff too, which is really cool. In the credits and screens and what all. Or where was it? Was it here? Key items, marts. You can, so your mart inventory, you can add master balls to Viridian straight up. But here your constants defines like music, audio constants and everything. And then your music and audio sound effects live in here. So yeah, that's the structure. I know it's a hot mess because I haven't kept up with it, and I'm like staring at it with you and going through it with you. So yeah. That's the layout, and the next one will kind of start into getting into some of the like more stuff into actually making things and adding things in that they have on the GitHub wiki for it. So yeah. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.